At this point, we're going to move on to actually adding, dynamically adding from our app a given username, and we can do that with a new function, SignUp. So we want to do this when our form's submitted. So we will create a dedicated function that we can go ahead and make async called SignUp. We're going to connect this to the form itself when it's submitted. So it's either going to be when the user hits the return key, or the user clicks on the button. We just want to make the button the type of submit. And when we connect this function to our form using the onSubmit event handler, like so, we're going to get event data. And in order to make sure that we're not reloading the page, we want to prevent the default action, which is to do so. So we'll say event.prevent default. And then first of all, we want to check once more whether the username has been taken. So if isTaken is true, if isTaken is true is our first check. We want to do something other than displaying a very small message right here. We want to display a toast notification. And what we have to be able to do that is using a special dependency called React Hot Toast. Now this is a very nice small toast library, but what's required to set it up is that we need to go to our app providers. We need to create within our tags here a component that's going to give some default settings to React Hot Toast, and that component is called Toaster. So we'll make sure to import that. We can just bring it in as a single tag like so from React Hot Toast. We can and could provide on it some default values for each of our toast notifications, but that's something that if you're interested in doing, you can check out using the documentation. If you go to the documentation, we're going to be setting up the styles of each of these toast notifications on the fly, and I'll show you how to do that. So if the username's already been taken, we want to return a toast. We want to return toast, which we can import directly from React Hot Toast. And toast has it on it a number of different methods that we can use. If we want to display an error toast with some error styles, all we have to do is just say toast.error. And the first argument we can provide is just the message within it. So in our case, we want to say once again to the username is taken. And we can provide as the second argument some toast options. So we can style this on an individual basis. We provide these options within a configuration object. So we can set first of all, the position, and I'm going to set mine in the top right corner of the screen. You can set whatever corner, whether it's left or right, top or bottom. You can set your toast in whatever corner you like. It can even be in the center, top center, bottom center. And then we have a style object. We have a style setting here where we can include any normal React styles written using a camel case syntax. So for the font family, we'll set that to Proxima Regular. Border radius, I'll set that to 10. Background will be a gray of 333, text code 333, and the color will be white. So we'll pass toast options to our error method, and we can reuse this for a couple of other toast errors. We'll add another condition, so we'll say else if the username in state, its length is less than 3. We're going to return a toast error with the text username is under 3-character limit. And once again, we'll pass in our toast options. And then one more condition for the username length being greater than 20 characters. So once again, we're going to return a toast error, but this time with the message, username is over the 20-character limit. Now, once we've checked for those potential errors, what are we going to do? Well, we are going to take some data from the user, from props, and that's some additional data that we haven't used just yet, including the display name. We want in particular their user ID, display name, and their photo URL. The next thing we want to do is once again create a variable u and make our user's username with a template literal. We'll prepend at the beginning, and we want to remove any white space and pass the username to that function once again. And now we're going to go through the process of creating a new document. What's important here is that we don't allow the user to submit this multiple times. So we want to add a flag, an isLoading piece of state, where the setter will be set loading when we're in the process of submitting, when the user's in the process of signing up. And that's going to disable our sign up form as well. So if is taken or is loading is true, we do not want them to hit sign up again. So we will try, first of all, to set loading to true and go through the process of signing up the user. And if there's any errors, we're going to catch them and alert the user to them. So after setting loading in our try block, we're going to await db.doc so we can once again use the doc method, reference a new path. In this case, we're going to be setting a couple of documents. We're going to be setting one under a new users collection, users/UID, and then we want to use the set method. It's going to provide all the values that we want to add to this new user document, and those are UID, the username, which will be set to you, the display name, and the photo URL. Additionally, we want to await db.doc and add a new username on the usernames collection, just like so. And as I mentioned before, we want to just set an object with the UID as a property and value. After that, we will reload the page. This will allow us to finish the signing up process, the authentication process. We'll see what that exactly is in a little bit. And then finally, we can add a finally block, regardless of whether it resolves as promised resolves successfully or it catches an error. At the end, we always want to set loading to false. So right now we should have everything that we need. So let's test this and make sure, first of all, if we have a value that's less than 3 characters, that we're getting our toast error, and we do. If we have a username that's far too long, we get the over 20 character limit toast error. But if we provide a legitimate username and hit sign up, our page reloads. Right now we're just taken back to the login page, but we can see here we have a new username. And if we look, we have a new users collection as well with all of that user's data.